The luxury sedan market as we know it today is arguably quite stale, as fundamentally these fun and comfortable cars are no different than what was offered 10 years ago, besides the introduction of more technology into the cabins. With the Germans defining this segment, prioritizing agile handling and strong powertrains to captivate enthusiasts, few rivals have dared to attempt to be a thorn in their side, and in fact fall short in the eyes of buyers for simply not being on par when it comes to the interiors and overall performance. The Genesis G70 changed all that with a substantial facelift for 2022, and with its optional 3.3-liter twin-turbo V6, this Korean luxury sedan could very well be the closest we've come to seeing the BMW 3 Series and Mercedes Benz C-Class get outmatched in this market. So here are 5 reasons why you should buy a 2022 Genesis G70. Where Genesis has prided themselves since breaking away from Hyundai is their bold designs for the entire lineup, whether it's the G70, GV70, or GV80. Few brands in this price range have turned styling into an art form, and yet that's exactly what they've done, and in fact, they've become an attainable premium luxury manufacturer when it comes to the exterior craftsmanship. We often half-jokingly consider the GV80 as being the attainable Bentley Bentayga, but there's some truth to that statement, and that's a testament to what Genesis has been able to achieve in a very short time. The G70, thanks to its refresh, not only shares cosmetic styling with its larger siblings, but from the outside appears to be upscale and alluring. Rather than just being perceived as a more luxurious Hyundai, this sedan might be one of the most aesthetically pleasing cars for its price point, as the front fascia brings a lot of class and sophistication. Many brands are guilty of forgetting to design the final third of a car, often forgetting that people will be staring at the rear end just as much as up front. And thankfully, Genesis didn't fall into that trap, as the G70 sporty taillights and large round exhaust tips draw your attention immediately. But there's also subtle cosmetic design cues that will go unappreciated, like the sloping C-pillars and spoiler that blend seamlessly into the rear fascia. There's an air of luxuriousness and elegance, which primarily should be your first thought when seeing a G70 for the first time. But you can't help but notice that Genesis incorporated an athletic persona that fits this car very well. What put the Germans in the driver's seat in the compact luxury sports sedan market was their ability to find the right balance, where you'd receive exceptional comfort, but the driving dynamics were also dialed in and refined as well. When looking at rivals outside of Germany, manufacturers often lean too far to one side over the other, such as Alfa Romeo with the Giulia, which is one of the more dynamic sedans in this segment, but not looked at for its premium quality. And then you have the Volvo S60 that's strictly a luxury sedan. The Genesis G70 doesn't have this problem, and it may be due to former BMW and Audi employees engineering and crafting this car, as performance, handling, and suspension have an uncanny resemblance to European competitors. Last year we had featured a G70 with the 3.3-liter twin-turbo V6, producing 365 horsepower and 376 pound-feet of torque. Despite the eye-catching numbers, the 0 to 60 times are more reflective of the Acura TLX Type S, falling behind the Audi S4 and BMW M340i. Yet during accelerations and driving the sedan on back roads, the G70 was fun and engaging. Best of all, the suspension is forgiving even in sport mode, and has sharp and direct steering that should draw in buyers who want to feel a connection to the car they drive. More impressive is that the G70 has the ability to double as a luxury sedan, where you experience a serene and laid-back on-road demeanor, appealing to those who want driving characteristics of a Mercedes Benz C-Class, but want to stand out amongst the crowd. When compared to other options in this market, it's the G70 we always come back to as being the well-rounded sports sedan that mimics the popular offerings in this segment. For brands on the outside looking in, there's not a lot of room for error when it comes to the holistic design of their luxury vehicles, because as we've learned over the years, an interior that lacks the refinement and intuitiveness that we see from industry leaders often leads buyers to look elsewhere. With Genesis relatively being a younger manufacturer, getting the cabin right is a must, not only because they're competing in a crowded market, but there needs to be incentives to choose a Korean brand over European rivals. Our model that we had featured was a Sport Prestige, being equipped with Nappa leather seats that provided a good amount of bolstering and support. When it came to the tech, even for a top trim, there wasn't a full digital gauge cluster like we experienced with a GV70. However, it's the infotainment system that really raises eyebrows. Similar to what we see from the Hyundai-Kia family of vehicles, this head unit's responsiveness and resolution could easily put some rivals to shame, as the quality is exactly what you expect in this price range from brands like Audi or BMW. The rest of the interior is nicely laid out, with a dashboard wrapping around you to offer a comfortable and safe sensation when cruising on back roads, and the materials used helps elevate the driving experience. While aesthetically the G70's interior may not be as visually appealing as what we see from an Audi A4 or BMW 3 Series, Genesis has done enough where it is on par with most competitors in this segment. Whenever you hear the term undercut when describing a vehicle, you immediately think that's more affordable than its rivals. And that does apply to the G70. But this car goes one step further, as the performance for the price is quite unbeatable, even if you have no intention on buying a luxury sedan from a manufacturer outside of Europe. When cross-shopping the Genesis G70 3.3T, you'll likely be looking at the Audi S4, BMW MT40i, Mercedes Benz C43, and Acura TLX Type S, to name a few. To receive this powertrain, you're looking at a base price of around $43,000 if you opt for rear-wheel drive, and then tack on an extra $2,000 if you want all-wheel drive. Putting that into perspective, you'll be spending close to $10,000 more for an M340i, and roughly a little less than that for an Audi S4, easing your discontent that the G70 isn't as quick in a straight line. From strictly a performance perspective within this market, Genesis is offering an attainable alternative if you're on a stricter budget, allowing you to save money up front while also receiving a car that's debatably better than its non-German competitors. If performance isn't what's motivating you to consider a G70, models with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine starts just below $40,000, once again being very competitive with luxury sedans when it comes to that pricing. And best of all, you can get the creature comforts you desire without breaking the bank. There was once a time in the automotive world where every luxury sedan had its own unique characteristics, whether that be how the car performed, handled, or even felt on the inside. Those days for the most part are long gone, as there's few vehicles that buck the trend of being cookie cutter, but thankfully there's the Genesis G70, which even today is still overlooked and not receiving the attention it deserves. The minute you see one on the road, you're captivated, and there is a sense that the G70 is special, despite being affordable and relatively widely available at dealers. It's a somewhat old-school take on a segment that's embraced mass production, as Genesis' design team has almost taken on the role as being a coach-building company, where craftsmanship and focusing on the smaller details is apparent with the road presence of the sedan. Then add in a refined driving style and 2 powertrains that suit this car very well, and you have a sedan that can truly be a great option if you have no interest in buying a BMW or Mercedes Benz. We hope you enjoyed this quick buyer's guide for the 2022 Genesis G70. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And if you're interested in buying a Genesis G70 or any other luxury sports sedan, make sure to check out our full reviews to help you find your next vehicle. And thanks for watching.